Why should you work with a financial planner? First risk is not having any long-term direction or any kind of plan. Now that plan, when done with a financial planner, is very, very specific to you. So you'll sit down with them, you'll go through your goals, your objectives, where your current position is, and then year by year, you'll be making a number of proactive decisions to make sure that you're capitalizing on every single tax allowance, relief, and ensuring also that there's the reassurance given around not worrying too much about volatility in the markets, because that's a long-term thing, and making sure there's not too much cash inside your portfolio, which is going to kill you over the long term. So if you don't do that, you're avoiding all of these micro decisions which are being made on a monthly basis. It's death by 1,000 cuts for your long-term future. So the second risk is just underestimating how much is enough. Now, one of the best exercises I can do with a new client is a cash flow model. This is where I understand exactly what it is that you're looking to achieve in retirement. What do you want your life to look like? Do you have a golf membership? Do you travel 5 times a year? And how do we get there? So how much is that going to cost you? Again, an underestimation, because a lot of people don't factor in the negative compounding effect of inflation, that drag on your spending power today. What £10 buys you today will not buy you the same thing in 20 years' time, I can guarantee you that. So unless you've got someone who is calculating this for you and factoring that in to the plan that you're on at the moment, you're never going to know if you've got enough when you get to the point where you actually want to retire. So we'll look back. Well, firstly, we'll look forward and we'll calculate what that number is. That number is based on the income that you're going to need in retirement. So what do we need to generate and accumulate while you're still working to provide you with the income or lifestyle that you want when you're no longer working? And that's an exercise which can really only be done with a qualified financial planner. And it's not just about retirement. Those cash flow models or those conversations with a financial planner are going to be about any kind of life goal that you have. I deal with families who want to send their children to a particular school or pay for their education, or it might be a holiday home they're looking to buy. It may be that you want to retire pre-age you can access pensions, in which case we need to look at other tax structures, other products which can bridge that period. So we'll bring in ISAs, stocks and shares ISAs, cash ISAs, other things which are going to help plug those periods where you're going to need income from a different source. To be honest, when you're in retirement, you probably need more than just the one source of income anyway. That's something else that we build into those initial conversations and the long-term plans. The third risk is behavioural mistakes, and this one can be quite a killer. What we do as advisors is we take out the emotion and the behavioural aspect of your decision making when it comes to your investments. Now, we always take a long-term view. Diversifying is key, but understanding your risk profile is the important part of the whole beginning of that process. So we'll sit down with you, we'll understand exactly where you sit on the risk scale, and we'll take into account your time horizon, your tolerance for risk, your appetite, and then we'll diversify portfolios accordingly. Now, a big mistake that people make if they're doing this on their own is those emotional knee-jerk reactions when the markets crash. And I can't tell you when the next market crash is going to be, but I can tell you there will be one, and there'll be probably a few before it comes to the point where you're retiring, if you're of an age in your early 30s, for example. Now, if you've not lived through that before, and I see so many people on social media, financial influencers that will try and kind of project this confidence around they'll still invest when the market crashes and don't panic because it's a long-term investment, and they're 18 years old. They haven't actually lived this. It's so different when you are in the middle of that situation. Emotions only exist in the present. It's very easy to look back and logically go, well, we've seen the market dip and then it rises again, so it'll be fine. You don't feel that at the time. That's where we come in. That's where we reassure clients. We keep them on that path. We discuss things in detail. And we understand exactly where they're coming from, because we also understand what risk profile they're at. So for me, I know I'll be a lot more proactive with certain clients who are a lot more cautious on the risk scale, because they'll need more reassurance than others who are a little bit more gung-ho. The other side of this is the lack of strategy. So it might be trend chasing, it might be flavor of the month, it might be cryptocurrency that year, it might be NFTs, which appeared to be all the rage only a couple of years ago. Chasing wins as opposed to actually having a strategy. It might feel productive, but it's not strategic. The best portfolio in the world is useless if it's abandoned at the wrong time. Risk number 4, tax efficiency over decades. Now, a really key mistake that I see made all the time, which is not utilising your allowances for the different tax structures available. The key ones are ISAs and pensions. There are others as well, but that tends to be more specialist for clients who perhaps on a higher level of earnings or wealth. But pensions and ISAs are critical for long-term saving, because anything that you put into your pension or your ISA is tax-free from a growth perspective. I came across a case the other day where a couple had been accumulating savings in cash all their lives and just putting it into savings accounts. They hadn't realised that they now owed HMRC a huge tax bill, which they had to backdate every year because they'd not paid any tax on the interest that they'd been accumulating. Not only that, they hadn't been investing that. That could have been worth considerably amount more if that had been done correctly 20 years ago into the right tax structure. You don't want to be investing your money into something which is not protecting you in the future. So when it comes to selling, you think, great, it's done fantastically well. Here's a massive tax bill from HMRC on all that growth. That's what we'll do. We'll make sure that things are in the correct structures. We'll make sure that they're in the right portfolios that are designed for you. And we'll make sure that that plan is stuck to over a long period of time. So why should you work with a financial planner? Everything I've just spoken about, mitigating all those risks which I come across all too often, building your financial plan, sticking to it, and adjusting as life changes.